we all have to work and make sure that the South African mining industry remains globally competitive. Critically important. Mining is a long-term business. And if you add to the long-term, very long-term, then you're in good company. There'll be times when things are very, very tough. And I'm mainly saying this for the media because those of you who are here, some of you know it even better than I do because I've been associated with the mining industry for more than 30 years. I mean, the first 10 was as a mining lawyer, but the remaining 25 was operationally. We have to all work together to make sure that the mining industry is a globally competitive destination. As an industry, we don't always get the respect and the recognition we deserve because there's a huge amount of truly world-class work that's been done, huge sacrifices. We have to build a middle class. The route for the middle class is education, and people will get there based on merit. I was at the Harmony, again, those accidents are the sort of things that make me want to leave this industry, Very painful to look at 5 families in their eyes and have to tell them that at our mines, where we take responsibility, the mines that we run, that they've lost their families, lost their father. And as I said then, and as I said, we will always, the investigations will continue and we will respect whatever findings that they come out of. But every employee, the minute they set foot on our premises, they're our responsibility. All over the world, the economies that have taken people out of poverty and have created the middle class and have created jobs and have significantly increased the standards of living of everybody, and particularly the poor, are those economies where the private sector has felt welcome, confident, competitive, and found those countries to be good countries to do business in long term. Now, I have people in my position have a huge obligation beyond the mining industry. And we often have to tell politicians the things they don't like to hear. But what we've also learned is that in order to really make progress, because it's not what politicians say, neither is it what we say, it's what the experiences are of the private sector. Ultimately, I mean, what is a government there for? Quite apart from safety and defending the nation and the police and education, but it's to uplift the standards of living of the people, reduce poverty and create hope and bring those into the economy and create a future for everybody, black and white. You've got to feel that you have a future and your children have a future. Now, I'm saying this so that I can close and talk about the mining charter. We sometimes think as South Africans we've got a choice. We don't have a choice. And, and I always know I get into trouble for saying these things. Sometimes, things, it's like I'm saying the house is on fire, but the heat is 50 degrees. And sometimes people say the heat is 100 degrees. It's fine. Because sometimes you've got to drag it to that extent. But the bottom line is, I am very confident that in terms of the global competitiveness of the mining industry, we will work out an arrangement that is good for investment. It has to be that way. And the people who determine whether we've succeeded in that regard are the investors. Now, that is crucial. The other thing which some of us are not, we are not alive to. I go to the ANC policy conference because I have to go and listen and hear and learn as well because people's views change. I go to the Communist Party policy conference. I go and sit with the communities in Modikwa and hear what the workers say. There's a huge amount of unhappiness in the black community. Huge amount of unhappiness, lack of jobs, lack of involvement in the economy. Many children have gone to university, have got either the wrong education or have got skills that have got no jobs for. And who is the ham in the sandwich? It's us. Who's the convenient entity that they can say, but either, we are on an investment strike, which is the biggest nonsense in the world. I mean, we'll always invest when it makes sense, or we are not as committed as it should be. I haven't come across a CEO. Show me one CEO in the mining industry who we can say reflects a lack of commitment to the country, to the workers, and to all stakeholders. I mean, the opposite is true. Every single one of the CEOs and the chairman I've had the honor of meeting, open mind, Patrice, how do we make it work? And I'll tell you, it extends beyond the mining industry. And that's what gives me hope and confidence. But we can't go and sit in some corner and mumble and grumble, I can't. In my position, I cannot. I've got to be there at the center, and we'll get the flack. But that's the sort of challenge we're going through as a country. It'll be okay. I've got no doubt about it. Absolutely okay.